Hello once again, all. Those of you that were able to catch me earlier, I'm LRock617, back here for a small Game Boy block. First game we're going to be playing is TMNT 2 Back from the Sewers for the Game Boy. It's the only Game Boy Turtles title that I actually owned growing up, so I will be frank when I say that it's not the greatest speed game for the most part, but I have a lot of nostalgia for it and I wanted to play it really well. So this game is really fun. The boss strats are really cool. Music's great. We also have our choice of difficulties, and any percent doesn't have any discrepancy, so I always just run it on easy. With the exception of one boss fight, every boss fight is faster except for that one being the first Krang fight. I'll go ahead and show this quick intro of just how cool it is. They did a good job recapturing the animated series intro on Game Boy here. Alright, so let's go ahead and get started at 3, 2, 1, go. Now, not all the turtles in this game play the same. One exception, I believe Leonardo and Michelangelo are basically the same. Haven't messed too much with those two, but I recall them both being about medium. Ideally, we're only going to be using 2 characters. If it really becomes necessary, we'll move to 3. Didn't want to get hit there, but at least I'll take a trade. So, Raph is the character we're going to be using through most of the run. He's really good for a couple of reasons. One, he's the first character on the character select screen, so it makes for much easier menuing. That's a poor reason, though, but it is a valid one. The other reason, he has the fastest attack speed, so if we ever need to do something like that, like do a quick turn jab, and then turn right back around, he's absolutely the fastest character for something like that. Our primary form of offense, though, is going to be this jump kick, primarily hoping we can get it off the short hop. The execution of it consistently is not the easiest thing, and I do have trouble with it sometimes, mainly because the Game Boy has just not particularly great input lag. Even though this is being run on a Super GB2, which runs Game Boy games at the correct speed. Really cool track here, I like this song. So yeah, a lot of this game is just moving right. Not particularly quickly either. Making sure you can take out patterns of enemies. There's no RNG to the enemy spawning. It's all just about taking them out with proper timing. In most cases, you don't even have to kill them. I'm gonna jump this manhole, hit that guy. If this were on normal difficulty, the first manhole would have popped open as well. Poor Skunky. Everyone press F to pay respects to Skunky. That was actually really cool. I never pulled that off before. I'm gonna take up top here. So we also have that slide move. It's outside of falling off movement, it's not particularly useful. The problem with the slide is while it does move as fast as your walk does, it also has recovery frames, so it actually slows you down. Anyway, this will move us on through this segment. Back underground. The footer up to some shenaniganry. Blowing up a bomb in our dear home. Pretty dark when you think about it. Pipe crawling isn't something we're going to see a lot of in this game. But we'll definitely use it there to avoid the hole. There's another pipe we can cling to, but I'm going to do my best to avoid it. They'll descend when I want to. These guys are going to slide ass. We can just jump them. Not so difficult. We have a ladder gauntlet. Got 2 more that are going to spawn on us, so I'm just going to take care of them real quick. Then we have this rush of foot soldiers going to come up here at the end. This is actually a very easy pattern. After the first 2, for me it goes left, right, right, left. And then repeat until you're finished. Okay, go clean that out. Appreciate it, Aaron. Thank you. If you're not at full health, Splinter drops a pizza for you there, but that actually takes time for the pizza to hit the ground, so it's good that we finished at full health. On to our first boss here, we have Rocksteady. The fastest possible kill on Rocksteady is actually pretty tough. We need to be able to get 5 hits, then 2 hits, then 5 hits again. As soon as he starts his dash animation, he's completely invincible, so we have to be mindful of that. Can't get us a 3rd hit there, sadly. This should be able to finish him off here. I think I've actually gotten as many as 6 hits in the first segment, but it's really hard. Some iframes there. That'll finish off our first stage. So in between every stage, we have these bonus rounds that allow us to refill our health. Every pizza you collect is worth half an HP. I'm actually going to collect 6 of them. I'm going to get the first 3 and then the last 3 to conserve time. But I didn't mean to get that. We'll go 8, 9, 10. There's only 12 that appear. That should work. Oh, I needed one more. Ugh, gross. Alright, on to the only stage where we're going to not use Raph to start. Donatello's great in this stage. Reasons why: we don't walk in this stage, so having fast recovery time for our attacks isn't necessary. We can just move while attacking, so Don's range is actually very useful here. Didn't want to take that hit. The helicopters are kind of tricky to kill. They take 3 hits, and one way you can hit them is by colliding into them to take a damage boost. So what I try to do is do a jump kick. Ideally, do a jump kick, and then do another jump kick that then collides into him. Let's see if I can pull it off here. There we go. This is also my favorite music track in the game. This song is amazing. Not going to be too much else to talk about this stage, I don't think. It's merely an auto-scroller. Hit foot soldiers as they come in. Make sure they're not going to cause problems. Don's range when catching foot soldiers vertically is also quite incredible. Next, some food. Pretty easy barrels here. Doing a very simple pattern. I don't know why I decided to go up there that time. I've never done that before. Really didn't hurt anything. Take out a couple more drones. Get these guys as they approach. Those foot soldiers with the cannons are kind of obnoxious. You definitely want to make sure you can take them out quickly. Their cannon fire can collide with your melee and it'll always trade. Second verse, same as the first. I believe that's going to take us into our ending. I think we have one more drone. Yeah, there we go. Clean that guy out. Alright, so our boss is going to be Bebop. There is a quick kill you can perform on Bebop. It's actually one of the more difficult ones in the game because it requires pretty exact manipulation, in my experience. So we're going to hit him right at the start, dodge his counterattack, hit him again right away as soon as he comes out of iframes, do it again. Get as many hits as I can there. So essentially what we want to do here is hit him and have him chase us. He chases us all the way to the other side without, okay, missed it there. Unfortunate. It's really hard. If you can get him to chase you all the way to the left, that's ideal. He didn't chase us quite there. The reason we want to do that is because having him on this side means he takes longer to despawn once we do kill him. That loses time. So for this bonus stage, we don't have to be as adamant about collecting health for Donatello because he's not going to be used at all through the rest of the run, so I'm going to get probably 4. Because I want to always make sure I collect the last 3 to conserve the most time. One in the middle, I think. No, top left, okay. So 10, 11, and 12. It's cool that the melee can also reach the pizza. This 2 HP back we'll never see again. Alright, back to Raph for the rest of the run. Yeah, the skateboard has pure iframes against the barrels. It's so weird, right? Great music track here, too. For here, I just stand along the top and just basically don't let anybody bother me. It's much harder to fight foot soldiers on the ground because you essentially can't jump, because if you jump, you might get tagged by somebody on top. I got 2 of those guys. They group together perfectly. Another cool thing you can do, in the early startup frames of your melee attack, you can turn and attack in the other direction as well. Takes some practice to time it right, but it's not too hard. I'm gonna jump kick these buckets as they fall. Let's just keep our advancing frames. Alright, on to Mousers. Mousers are some of the more annoying enemies in the game. I think only drones are actually worse. But these guys are going to get on our nerves. They have really good priority on their jumping attack. Actually just missed the input there. Kind of fell asleep at the wheel. Got a couple more of these dudes here. Take some health. This segment's kind of weird. You only have one foot soldier pop out of this door on easy. Have to wait forever for him. On to our second beat 'em up section. This is just a short warehouse level where you have to take out a specific number of foot soldiers. This is also one of the highlights in the game for the slide. The slide's actually really good in a beat 'em up level because you can just catch foot soldiers on incoming for free, basically. That almost sucked. And the recovery time from the slide doesn't matter because you're not trying to move forward. Just melee these guys as much as we can. That was really good. Very good use of slide. Make sure they don't spawn right on top of you. That's a guaranteed hit. It does kill them, but it's really not worth it. What's up, Consta? Alright, on the second half of stage 3. This is the part of the stage where it actually becomes a bit of an annoyance. I'm going to take care of that guy. See if I can dodge this mouser. Very good timing on that jump. Snag that. Got a couple of mousers that are going to approach me here. Actually, it's just one, I guess. Sometimes you get better timing on that jump. I don't think that's random, but I think I should have jumped a little bit later. It is a tough jump, though. There is a pizza at the end of the level for the boss, and my goal is to not take more than 6 hits. Pizza only fills half your health in this game. Big old jump there. That was gross. So here's the segment, one of the segments that makes me just not like this stage at all. I did not want to slide there, by the way. That was very bad input error. Sometimes if you go A to B too quickly, trying to do a jump kick, you get a slide instead. So you gotta be really, really careful about your execution there. I was hoping for a jump kick that would take all that out. But yeah, here you have combinations of drones and mousers that just get really tedious to have to deal with. I think I was getting hit there no matter what. I'm actually gonna drop here and make them all collide with the ground. That was a pure safety play, but I don't think it was slow either. There we go. Navigating our way through this can be a bit tricky. Mousers do sometimes decide to just not spawn in particular areas, which is weird. Ah, didn't want to bump my head there. That jump's tricky. Despawn that one, though. They disappear from the screen. They're gone forever, which is nice. Make this jump. Snag our pizza. Back all our health. Alright, and all that's done. On to our boss. So this is the only boss fight in the game that's actually faster on higher difficulties because Krang actually has less cycles when he takes flight. So we're going to tank a lot of hits here. Just trying to get trades. Goal is 4 hits before he takes off. Okay, we got there. Nice. 3 is pretty free. 4 requires some mashing. Get that there. Hoping for the same thing here. I'm going to tank some hits. 5 is also possible there, but I didn't get it. It's hard. It's really hard to get 5 hits. We're going to do a bit more tanking. Should be only 1 more cycle. Alright, we're a bit less than half health, so I'm going to be a bit more conscious about my health here. And take some of the pizza in the bonus stage. Take a bit more of it anyway. Also, what is up with that Krang sprite? I don't quite get that. I'm actually going to go ahead and collect everything here. We'll lose a little bit of time, but I'd rather have my health. The next stage can be really punishing in the event that you're low on health in specific areas. Because for a good while, you don't even run into enemies there. But collecting the pizza should be pretty quick. The reason we can lose time, though, I'll show here in just a moment. Actually able to get all those pretty quick. That was solid. See, the perfect screen takes a bit longer, and you don't want that. But it does refill our health to full, so that's cool. Shredder Dr. Wily. Just you wait. Really cool music here. First part of our stage, we're just going to be dodging boulders. Here we have to duck. Can't wait too long to duck either. If you wait too long, the boulder's still going to hit you, and it's going to put you in a flat stance. Jump these. Requires some reasonably good timing there. My timing for ducking is as soon as I see the boulder spawn on the screen, I just immediately crouch. Jump this one. And then down the hill we go. Pretty interesting face sprite there. Here we're just jumping boulders, nothing particular. Same as before, as soon as I see a boulder, I just jump immediately. We're gonna have one more boulder jump. Then I run right up the hill and the big leap. Now I have these flame pillars to dodge. These things are obnoxious. This one I'm actually gonna wait out. I don't actually think you can jump that one. In my testing, I've not been able to. I'll try and jump this one though. Didn't work. Oh well. I'm actually gonna avoid the first pizza then in this case, even though it's right there. Those are low to the ground. You can't get hit by those. Foot soldiers with the rocket launcher. No big deal. I'm kind of mad I missed that jump though. I didn't think you could clear that. There was another pizza before we reached the end of this segment. This segment's just... It's probably my least favorite segment of the game, even if it's not the hardest, because it feels like the design is in place for you to just not be able to go fast. Like, all it wants to do is punish you for trying to actually, like, try to play well. Go ahead and snag this, get our full health back. Didn't quite get up there in time. Yeah, jumped way too early there. Have to damage boost through this. Didn't land on the ledge. Gross. There's one slight upside out of this. Can't go back. A couple of mousers are going to spawn. They're not going to be a huge concern of us, but I am going to kill them. Ignore that one. You can just fall to his doom. Some weird screams. Alright, I believe this is our first mini-boss of the game. Here we have a pizza monster. Killing him as quickly as possible can actually be pretty complicated. As long as you're hitting him, you're doing exactly what you need to be. And I know that sounds weird, but the reason I say that is because if you trade with him, that's still fine, because you're still hitting him. And the big reward for finishing this fight is that you actually get to, you get full health refill when you finish it. I didn't get the hit there. That's what you don't want to have happen. I mistimed my jump. Pretty gross. Missing a whole cycle is pretty costly. Loses you a good 5 or 6 seconds or so. Alright, so we finished that off. Full health refills, you should get double pizzas. I feel like that's more for flavor than anything. Missed the jump kick, that's okay though. This one approached me from the left, I'm actually going to ignore for a bit. At least until the very end. I feel like that timing wasn't as bad as the game told me it was. Let that one just ignore me. Alright. On to our boss. Shouts to the module in the background. Love the foot logo too, they did a good job here. So here we have Shredder. Much harder fight on higher difficulties, but on easy, he only really has 2 patterns. He's going to flex his muscles, and then he's either going to run to the other side, or he's going to dive kick to the other side. Either strat is pretty much the same. I'd prefer if he'd run, because we can just get an easier hit that way. He's invincible during the dive kick, but we can tag him when he lands. Good fight, though. Man, that would have been an insane stage with a better Pizza Monster fight. He who shreds and runs away gets to shred another day. So we have 4 health to refill. Be mindful of that when we move on to here. Gonna collect goals to collect the first 4 and then the last 4. So that's 4 so far. Oh, I didn't want that one. 6, 7, 8, 9. I'll just get the last 3 in this case. So that's 10, 11, 12. Okay. Got our 8. Back yet to full health. Heck yeah. One shot now with the heck yeah. I love it. Thank you, Paulie. This is actually probably the best music track in the game. Stage 2 is my personal favorite, but this song just hits on everything correctly. The stage design, however, is slightly questionable. It's kind of convoluted. Here you have all these flying platforms that essentially mean nothing. it's just a go right stage in the guise of something that looks like it could actually have a pretty decent amount of navigation to it. But no, you're just going right. No matter what you're doing, no matter what platforms you're on, just make sure you go right. Dodge these missiles. Pretty bad there. The only spots I want to hit are there are going to be a couple pizzas before the end that I want to make sure I get. One's coming up pretty soon. Alright, up we go. They got this guy, get our food. This is also one of the only stages where clinging to pipes is important because it actually lets you move around on platforms. So you can do stuff like this. Actually, never tried that strat before. That was really cute. Go back this way. Drones, honestly, are the only things I have a problem with in this stage. I don't even have a problem with the falling missiles. The turret shots are pretty easy to avoid. You land just to the left of the center when you land on one of those platforms, and they'll all miss you. Not super difficult. Luckily, the drones, once they have one horizontal trajectory, commit to it. Gross. It's not particularly well played. There we go. So that's where slide's good. When you can slide off platforms, it's just pure momentum. What is happening? Ew, do not want. Definitely taking a hit here. Alright, so I'm not going to be at full health after they get this pizza, but it shouldn't be a huge deal. Move on down. One last foot soldier. And here's the thing I don't understand. Why are you moving all this way in the air just to go back to the ground? Anyway. Baxter is a quick mid-boss. Quick kill here that's not super difficult, but again, hoping I get it. There we go, got it. One cycle. If I hadn't smothered his iframes like I did, he would have been able to fly to the other side, and I would have had to lose a couple seconds to kill him. Quick beat him up section before our boss. Just gotta kill all these guys. I also love how this has a preemptive boss music, kind of like how Rondo of Blood does. Alright, on to Granitor. There's a quick kill associated with this fight that's actually really cool, and we have to make sure we can manipulate him to the bottom of the screen. Alright, good start. We can stay right below him and he can't hit us at all. The hard part is making sure that he goes for as many cycles as he does in terms of hits. That's not good. Now he's on the bottom. We don't want that. Yeah, that's pretty gross. It's also moving all the way to the left, which I don't like. This should work. One more hit. Alright, yeah, that the first cycle was great. The second cycle was atrocious. The third cycle managed to get us back on something. Also ended up being a really good stage. Got our smooch from a not well-sounding April. Alright, I have 5 health to refill, and I definitely want full health here, so I'm probably going to collect everything but the middle two. That's 3, 4, 5, chilling. 6, 7, 8, unfortunate. 9, 10, 11, 12. Got a pretty bad spawn pattern there, so I didn't get to save as much time as I would have liked, but we're still fine. Alright, on to our last stage. Going back into the fray with Raph. Quick auto-scroller to start us out. Nothing special about this. Avoid mines, avoid missiles, and you're good. The missiles you can either attack to clear, or you can jump them. Neither one saves time over the other. It's whatever you feel comfortable doing. I tend to want to attack them. It's call it a reflex, but I feel like if I jump them, I'm just going to jump one to land on another. I also tend to stay on the top pixel to avoid mines as best as possible. It's weird how they basically turned this into a shmup stage where you can't actually attack anything with a gun, though. Pretty strange. Pretty strange. I think that should finish this out, though. There's some more mines. Alright, cool. Okay. On to the end game. This is where This is where things can tend to get gross. This room in particular is awful. Trying to avoid lasers and slides at the same time is really hard. The best way to do it is to do a not quite peak jump. Don't quite know how to explain it. It's kind of one of those things you gotta feel out. Take out a mouse right there. I also recall the lasers aren't random, but I believe they can track you, so you can manipulate them, but because you're having to deal with multiple other things on the screen at the same time, you're not going to have too many patterns that work out in your favor. So I try to just jump them on reaction. But then, of course, stuff like that happens too, which is super filthy. Luckily, we're in full health going into the Technodrome here. On to our first of 3 bosses for this stage. This, to me, is one of the trickier ones for sure. Here we have Trag. Didn't get the first hit. That's not good. You can hit him as he comes out. I just had bad timing. Didn't want to get hit there. The pattern is essentially you want to jump his shots and then kick him in the face on the way down. Just doing it and not getting hit is the hard part. You can give 4 hits a cycle, but you are going to have to tank a bit, and that's going to make the next segment all the more dangerous. One more hit. The other hard part of the stage is, of course, you're on a conveyor belt, so that just makes movement all the more complicated when it doesn't need to be. More dodging lasers and turrets. These turrets are incredibly hard to avoid. Didn't catch that one either. Ooh, managed to get that one. Nice. Saw how tight that window was, though. For Rodney's, for the first 2 we can jump and just go on our merry way. The third one, not so much, because this 4th one spawns and he's going to hit us guaranteed. There's going to be a pizza a couple segments from now, so I'm going to play a little bit safe here. It's going to be tough. There we go. Okay, cool. Jump this. Wait out this. And for this, health is just more important to me than anything, so that's what I'm going to prioritize. Didn't want to get that trade. I'm going to wait this out. Had the Trag fight gone better, I wouldn't have to do this, but here we are. Okay, cool. Good jump there. Also going to wait this out. Don't see the point in damage boosting. Slide off, get our pizza. This is just going to be a small repeat of what we experienced in Stage 3. Quick elevator section that's going to feature a beat-em-up segment fighting some foot soldiers. Same rules as before apply. You haven't guessed it by now, the last stage is essentially the stage that just wants to throw everything it has at you. It's really long. It's got a lot going on. Lots of boss fights that all play differently, which some of you haven't quite seen quite yet, but we'll get there. Take those things out. Essentially, my goal today is to make sure this is a deathless run. Not every run of this game has been deathless for me. That's why I mentioned earlier that I didn't want this to be a 3-turtle run. If Raph dies in this stage, I end up switching to Leo. Leo's serviceable, but he's a worse Raph. He just has slower attack speed and isn't quite as efficient. Now Krang unloads some very random machine gun fire on us. Thankfully, it doesn't do damage to us. God, this segment has such great music. It's too bad we don't get to see much of it. Yeah, I didn't want to take 2 hits there. This segment's pretty degenerate. I'm wanting to wait out that mouser there. So I really didn't want him hitting me. Take 1 more hit. Okay. Move up here for a pizza. I'd love to have a strat one day where I don't actually have to go up here to get full health, but it hasn't happened yet. Thanks 91. Fair number of them. At least 3 that I know of. Alright, on to Super Shredder. One of the more convoluted fights in the game for sure. So, the point where he spawns after he teleports out is completely random. The best strat possible is to make sure you can jump kick and get away from him so he can't counterattack you. It is possible to 3-cycle this fight, but it's really hard. Right now we're looking at more of a 4-cycle. I think I've only gotten the 3-cycle 1 time ever. Pretty decent. Didn't want to take that hit, but take that. But yeah, if you jump kick and immediately move away, he just gives chase, and if he can't catch up to you, then he doesn't get to hit you. Pretty simple. Slide to finish him off. On to this room. Last room before our last boss. room's particularly frustrating. We have these drones that are going to spawn out of these holes that I honestly wish didn't exist. But we gotta deal with it. That was not what I wanted to have happen. Ugh. Thankfully the final boss is easier, or else I'd be really mad about all this health loss. This one's the worst, because this one spawns right at your location. So you just have to move forward and take hits. You don't really have a choice. We are going to get a little bit of health back here, but this is only going to bring me to 6. Didn't want to take that hit. Going to be a bit more health conscious here. As soon as they take fire, as soon as the machine gun fire stops, you can just jump. Pretty simple to avoid. Like so. Alright, on to our last boss. Oddly enough, Shredder is not the last boss here. Here we're going to have Krang, who is also the final boss on Fall of the Foot Clan for the Game Boy. For time purposes, essentially what you want to do is make sure you avoid him stomping the ground, because that causes an earthquake. And while that doesn't do damage to you, it does stop you from being able to move. I also love the fact that they use the Krang arcade game theme. Not the best fight so far. Gonna jump back. Time's coming up on the last hit, and that's gonna be time. 30-13 by my count. That's either my second or third best run ever. I think I had a 30-11 PB once upon a time, but that's still a really good run. Solid last stage. Could have been a slightly better trag fight, but still pretty decent. Not gonna be too unhappy with that. Don't know what it's gonna look like on the stream, since I timed it myself and Mr. Dino decided to time it along with me. But yeah, solid run. I'm always happy with a run that I can get in that game that's deathless. Just because that last segment after trag is just disgusting. Like, you can definitely take a pretty good amount of damage there before you get to the actual hard segments. Cool, cool. Alright, well, I hope y'all enjoyed that. This ending montage photo here is just also incredible. Like, I love the artwork here. Looks really good. And thank you all so much for the GGs. Hope y'all enjoyed my little romp through nostalgia there. And I'll be back momentarily with some TMNT 3 on Game Boy. Be sure to stick around.